Hey, Jeff Lerner here, and I want to talk to you about the precautionary principle. You might never have heard of that, but I promise you've been impacted by it. And if you're looking at becoming an entrepreneur or trying to just do some really cool, extraordinary things with your life, this is a concept you need to be aware of and you need to be on guard against. I'm reading a book right now, actually, Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand. It's a great book about entrepreneurialism and industry and the creative energy of man and what we're capable of, but also the forces that try to hinder us. And this book, Atlas Shrugged, has a section in it that I think, as well as anything I've ever seen or read, illustrates the precautionary principle, a concept from environmental science. Well, basically talks about, in environmental science, it says, whenever there's a potential adverse effect on human beings, then precautions should be taken and perhaps the activity should be avoided or the action should be avoided, whatever it is, even if there's not a specific provable correlation between cause and effect. Now that may sound kind of highfalutin, but basically what that's saying is, even if there's a concern that something bad could happen based on a certain undertaking, then that undertaking should be avoided, even if you can't prove that undertaking would cause the bad thing to happen, or that it would even be linked to the bad thing that could happen. I think that unfortunately, a lot of us are raised, acclimated culturally to think this way, that, well, something bad could happen. And even if I can't logically connect the thing that I want to do to the bad thing that could happen, we sort of operate from this place of fear. And it's biological. Well, in the era of saber-toothed tigers and cave dwelling, that may have kept us alive. But now, I think in a lot of cases, it just kind of keeps us playing small. So I'm going to read to you this excerpt from Atlas Shrugged to kind of illustrate how nefarious the thinking is when we start applying the precautionary principle in our life. Here's basically what she says. It may be possible that after a period of heavy usage, a sudden fissure may appear, though the length of this period cannot be predicted. The possibility of a molecular reaction, at present unknown, cannot be entirely discounted. And although the tensile strength of the metal is obviously demonstrable, certain questions in regard to its behavior under unusual stress are not to be ruled out. Although there is no evidence to support the contention that the use of the metal should be prohibited, a further study of its properties would be of value. So in other words, although there's no evidence to suggest that somebody shouldn't do this thing, they're going to go ahead and recommend that they take more time to evaluate. This is the enemy of entrepreneurial endeavor. This is the enemy of human creativity. This is the enemy of industry and progress. And ultimately, this is the enemy of you having a kick-butt life. If every time you see an idea, you see an opportunity, you have a vision, if you can't within seconds start to convert that into action because somewhere in your mind this precautionary principle kicks in. If every time you have some idea of some way to move your life forward, you intervene on yourself, you contravene yourself by saying, wait, but I haven't run every scenario, or I haven't thought this through in every level. I haven't forecasted every possibility. Regardless if it's a probability, I just need to think through every possibility. These are, inclinations that really, really stop us. We are absolutely our own worst enemy. And it's kind of like at the end of Usual Suspects when Kobayashi says that the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world that he doesn't exist. I would argue that the greatest evil in a lot of our own lives is actually done in the name of safety and self-preservation. Nobody, I think, goes through life deliberately trying to harm themselves. But how many of us do things that naturally harm our potential selves in the interest of safety and stability and security here in the here and now, right? How many of us have an idea, have a vision for our life, but then in order to protect who we are right now, we stop ourselves from ever becoming who we potentially could be. Maybe you're watching this going, I don't care, I love my life, I don't need to do anything different. But if you've got this little voice inside you that's like there's more out there, I want to encourage you that maybe this precautionary principle, which may be a great idea in politics, it may save the world, it's maybe not saving your life, and potentially it's stopping you from becoming who you could become. So hope that's of value to you. I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.